It's the witching season again. Join me on the Delta, as this time we're looking for the ghosts of Blakeley Battlefield.
Happy Halloween.
The boomtown of Blakeley, Alabama was founded in 1814 on the Tensas River just across the Delta from the port city of Mobile. By 1828, the village would be decimated by 3 yellow fever outbreaks. The epidemics killed so many people that mass graves were dug to bury the dead. Now, parapsychologists believe that mass graves, because of how hastily they are constructed, are often haunted by the spirits of the people buried there. Well, the ghost town of Blakeley may be a prime example. Over the centuries, many have been buried at the Blakeley Cemetery. Some are apparently still hanging around, as the odd apparition is not uncommon at night. Now, if you fancy yourself a real-life Dr. Venkman, you can actually get a primitive campsite just a few hundred feet away from this graveyard. Many people do it. Some regret it. There are a few modern grave sites here, but some date back as far as 1817. Those would be the yellow fever victims. One of the newest additions to the park is a replica of an Appalachian home. It was just completed within the last year or so, but while they were constructing this hut, as many call it, lots of people said that they felt the temperature drop out, or a presence, like something was watching them. This section of the park lies just outside the ghost town of Blakeley. Perhaps the spirit of some Appalachian or Choctaw warrior still occupies this section of the woods. Now we're in the ghost town. You can see up in there the actual courthouse. And then right up there is what they call the jury tree, and that's where they held trials. And I'm sure carried out a few executions as well. So that's what this structure used to look like, right there. I guess this would have been the old cathedral, or church, or whatever they called it at the time. This town was established in 1814. So Mobile, which is back that way, cool echo, would have been about 112 years old at the time, already. sure some of those first residents still wander this site. Here we are on the battlefield at Blakeley, and all of this earthworks you can see here, that's from the actual battle. There were men on either side of it taking part in the last major battle of the Civil War. I don't know, maybe battle's a bit of a loose term. I believe that the Southern troops were outnumbered 10-1. They say at night you can still hear some of the soldiers. And it stands to reason that a place that experienced this much death, maybe some of those spirits didn't get the release that they needed. You know, I don't know that I believe in it, and I don't know that I disbelieve it. I know there are a lot of things that go on in this world that we just hadn't figured out yet, and I don't pretend to know it all. This is the Confederate side. This is where the Alabama infantry was located, here on this side of all of this. And then, you know, all the Union troops were on the other side of that earthworks. And to think, the Southern troops fighting here had no clue that Robert E. Lee had already surrendered, and that the war was technically over. Nor did the Northern troops on the other side. And here we are on the Union side, looking towards the Confederate troops. This is where most of the people who passed away met their fate. Sometimes at night you can see an apparition on top of the earthworks. An old Civil War soldier. Boom. Remnants of the old fort here. Well, there's you just a taste of the paranormal oddities that can be found at Blakeley State Park. If you're interested in visiting the park and going for your own little ghost hunting excursion, let me recommend the group. You can find them on Facebook, the Ghost Hunting Housewives. They have regular excursions into the park, which allows you to visit all of these areas with trained ghost hunters and not have to spend the entire night in the park. And if you're looking to take a more normal visit to the park, well, here's what they've got to offer.
Historic Blakeley State Park is one of the Gulf Coast's largest and most diverse cultural and natural heritage attractions. The site of Alabama's largest Civil War battlefield, the park contains dozens of miles of trails and offers cabins, camping, wedding facilities, and a year-round series of programs ranging from lectures to live music. Blakeley also offers numerous public and charter cruise options aboard the Delta Explorer. Visit BlakeleyPark.com for a full schedule of events.
There was this here talking dog, like that happens, and he was asking you to hit the subscribe and like buttons, like everybody don't know to do that already, for crying out loud.